Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sorry, today a little delay. Om Shri Gurubhyo Parama Gurubhyo Srimadananda Tirtha Bhagavatpadacharyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Sthititolaya Nedi Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Mati Prabodhan Vadan Rasyaptavan Srujatavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Anandatirthamunivaryam Namami Pujyaya Raghavendraya Satyadharmarataya Cha Pajatam Kalpavrakshaya Namatam Kamadhenuvem Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome, friends, as we are continuing our journey in Kathopanishad. Now we were talking about 101 nadis and 101 pathways in the body, which has been discussed in the Upanishad, and it was also trying to tell us there are millions of pathways in the body, hundreds and thousands, but then the 101 were considered to be the most essential pathways. They are finally the grids through which the energy finally flows in when the child is born, because when the energy comes into the child and then it grows, as the body grows, then the pathways get expanded. As it expanded, it gets into instead of its own complex, the pathways, all through the body to distribute the energy as well as the distribute the power, to the organs. It goes off and again it goes with the the ability of the body to distribute the energy. As it grows, finally, it is the 301 nadis, which are most important of the thousands of nadis in the body that has been brought about. This is the concept in yoga also, as well as in the Upanishad, is bringing about that the concept of yoga for our understanding. The 101 nadis, the pathways which is supposed to be important are the one, because we finally being sending the energy to the pathways of all the chakras, any the blockages that are there, they are being removed, and finally the energy is being distributed to the chakras. Through that, because the glands of the body starts functioning to its fullest ability. When it is able to function to the fullest ability, and the body is able to maintain its balance as well as to produce the experience, which we are capable of taking without any sort of deficiency of the bodily discomforts. But if there is any sort of a blockages, even when the body is not able, it is not able bodied, your experience will be to that extent curtailed. It will be scuttled. You will not be able to have the full experience. So if I am running fewer, and because if I'm doing, but my organs will not be working to the full extent, because perhaps I may need, the body needs recovery, and then only it will be able to do that. But when the body is fully able, still we are not able to do it. For instance, because we may be doing so many things, because we are planning so many things. How many things we are achieving in the day, if you really see, because I thought I will do that, because even last month I thought I will do that. And this month also it's not happening. I think I should somehow do it, because likewise, it causes a stress in us because we are not able to do it, because as we wanted it. Why we are not able to do it? Because we have got, because the priorities are not always set, because the priorities come as it is, because whichever becomes priority, we just give our mind and attention to that, that goes off. So, for instance, because we may be giving some word to someone, and because we may not be able to fulfill the word, because not that we are intentionally doing it, because we are not able to do the things necessary to fulfill the word. Because if tell someone, look, I will get it done for you, I will have the admission done in this place, or and I will get your entire the sort of I will get you the necessary documents for you, because which will enable you to finally sort of they make you a property or build your house. We are giving some word to them, but we are not able to, because we are bogged down with so many of our work. We are not able to give the priority to what we have to do at that point of time, because basically we should not give a word when we are not able to do it, and we will should be able to give the word only when it is possible for us to do it. Supposing if I can do it, within a week's time, I should not commit to anyone that I will be doing it in next 2 days. But unfortunately, because the social compulsions, our own sort of a willingness, concern for others, to tell them, because like I will try, at least, it will give them some comfort. But anyway, I will try to manage, if I can do it, if not, even if there is a delay, couple of days delay, I will have it done. Something like that when we do it, that we are not fully committed to our words. So when our intention, our words, our commitment and action, all of them come together, synchronized, and finally it produces the result, that becomes the possibility of that is the final culmination of the action, fruition of the action. That we are not able to do it. That is why, because even a lot of people, we all think, because we can do that, because it's not that, we will try to manage and get some time out of that and do it and all. But we really have not gauged what is the time and attention that is required for the job. We have not given the priority to that because we have not been mindful about what are all the other things that has fallen in, how I can put the priority to this job. This happens, mainly even when we are able-bodied, and because we have got all the faculties intact, having come to the world as a human being without any deficiency. Because a lot of blind people are there. There are people who are deaf, because they can't hear. People who are dumb, who can't speak, and because people who are because otherwise, they have got the deficiency, in the body. They otherwise, because they are not otherwise able, but they are not able to do that. But it gives them some sort of a deficiency, but they are able to make it. They are being trained. The blind person. Yeah, now the process is there. He has been trained enough, because that he can lead the life himself. He doesn't need anyone to help him. Certainly, as a society, everyone should help, lend a helping hand. But then, because when the process is available, because he has got other faculties much stronger than robust, he may be blind, is the brain, the ability to perceive, his instinctive, and his ability to feel, sense what is around him are so powerful, he will be able to make it. And now, because like Bailey has come and so many, because they are all being trained, they are able to independently move. Now, facilitation also happening in the society there, so they are able to conveniently go as per their, because ability to move around, and because the guidance is there, everything is there. If you go abroad, you will find, all the blind people, they have got a guide dog. The guide dog is being so trained, because it takes the person, even crossing the road, it is able to sense, because the signal is red, because then it stops. Only, when the pedestrians are allowed to pass through, it takes the master, through that path. So the guide dogs are so important, because in Western world, because there is no other, people are living all alone. They don't have anything, anyone to fall on. But in a society like ours, because where we are able to live, as a family or at least a friends, and in a society, in apartment, in the building, when we are able to interact. But are we doing it, because that we may not be doing it because we have got our own priority. How am I, because in the apartments, people don't have any sort of a time to look into others affairs, forget about at least even to know if something is happening to the other person, immediately fall back. There is no backup, because that has become, the part of the society, the habit of the society. The society has come about it, how it comes, because after all, we are not giving, because we have not given any priority to that. Not that, because I may be needing today and tomorrow, because it's that by knowing that at least if someone is need of a help in the mid of the night, someone needs it. Now, of course, they have to, all the facilities are there. You ring up the number, they come and do it and all. For the immediate attention, immediate help, if you want it, perhaps, it may be available. It is not available everywhere, because, we have all become, self-centered. We have all, because put a barrier around us. We are all squared up. We are living for ourselves. How it has come about? It is because this 101 nadis have not been fully energized. Because we have been, encircled ourselves, with our own comfort zone, with our own sort of attitude, because our own, sort of our own ability to work with the way in which we want. We want in that way to work. We do not want any other way, because that is again boosting our ego, because we are not able to give up our ego, because we think, because I have got this requirement and this is how only I can function. I can't do anything, because when you are able to give up all those things, because then the energy will be flowing. We are blocking the energy by having the mindset, thoughts, and because we are putting a restrictions around, and we are also sort of making our own conditionalities. That conditionalities finally result in the blockage of the passing of the energy. That's why this 101 energy, 101 path that has been done, Satam cha ekacha, Satam 100, Satam cha plus ekacha, that is 101 pathways, that the energy which are very important. Through that, because that comes, because when your thoughts are purified, when you are able to have open minded, when you are not having in your own idiosyncrasies, when you are not thinking, because look, you are not creating the comfort zone around you in so many ways. When you are able to keep it across, because then this energy will go, because you are getting the energy, everything. And that's why we are not able to do so many things. Otherwise we could have done easily, by prioritizing. If I have to do only 5 things in a day, if I just prioritize, if I do only 5 things, it's good. That's all. Next tomorrow I will do it. But if I go on thinking and I will do 101 things today, but I am not able to do in 2 or 3 things properly, and this entire 98 things, because flow over the other day, and then it is a stress. And then because then you we go on finding out, because what are all the things lacking, because others have that, because people to help, he has got that person, he takes care of that, likewise, we go on assigning it. No one is needed. We can do everything ourselves for ourselves, because now the facilitation is there. Even when it is not there, people have lived themselves comfortably by prioritizing what they want and having an open-minded approach. They have not had any blockage. See, even if some person is not talking to you as amiably as you would like to, still you should be able to interact. Because why? Because why I should be taking? He has to be amiable. Because it is not divine law. He can do it because his own conditionalities, his own personality is different. As far as I am concerned, he is equally good, and as far as I am concerned, I can interact with him because I don't have any cudgels. I am open-minded. I will be able to deal with him. So once you get that, first these 101 pathways will have to be clear. That means you have to become as open-minded, so that your ego is being reduced to the minimum, if not, because you can't become a divide of ego. If you become a divide, if you are divide of ego, then you have attained the highest realization what the Upanishad is talking about. So once you attain that stage, then you are able to do. And then when the energy flows, it will all go through beautifully, through the energy channel, as we were talking about, because there was a Vivekananda approach was there, there was a Paramahamsa Yogananda, he has also given. There are 2 examples, but otherwise Upanishad says, the path of energy is very, very unrestricted. It will be there once you have that open-minded, because when you don't have any sort of a dispassionate attitude, once you have a dispassionate attitude, the energy will flow. Finally, the Upanishad is trying to bring about have a dispassionate attitude. So, if dispassionate, you may have a possessions, but you will not be possessive. So you will not be finding, some comfort zone around you, creating a comfort zone around you, and because you will be taking it as it comes. You will try to manage, you will try to adjust, you will try to adapt. That is what Charles Darwin said. Human beings are able to survive so long, because other than the other creatures, because we are able to adapt. We were able to adapt to the climatic condition. We are able to adapt to the geological condition. We are able to adapt, because to the topographical features of the place, where it is there and all, because then accordingly the food habits have come, because as well as the living habits have come. So there is nothing good or bad, because since we have adopted, because people who are living in the coastal region, they are all fish eaters. Because that's what is available to them, because they couldn't grow much. So even those who are in the desert, because they are trying to do, because the all other feeds, which comes about to them. Finally, they have also realized, if you find, the people who have realized for what is ultimately good for us, and you will find in Middle East, a lot of people are becoming vegetarians. because they know, because that suits them. And but it's not that they may not be going the vegetable, they are making it available now. They are also trying to grow the vegetable. They are creating the conditions in such a way they can do the appropriate vegetables for their, because the climate. Likewise, it is there. Always there is a way, because if there is a will. So that is what it is talking about. The 101 thing is basically having your willpower to get through yourself, because to make yourself free and understand and go about. Shatam che ekachi hridayasya natya tasam murdhanam abhiniti shritaye, because this one passes through towards the crown of the head. The crown of the head is the ultimate power. When you are finally realizing the God, when you are finding your evolution is complete to the fullest possible extent, finally your energy should be flow without any blockage through the middle channel. Because we said, there is a Ida, is the left side channel, and the Pingala is the right side channel, and the Sushmana is the one, which is go through the central channel. It is supposed to be going through all your chakras and all your glands, when they produce the energy and all. Finally, it all by your concept. Because once you have, all these qualities inbuilt in you, these are all the fundamental requirement. Once you have to the dispassionate, that is the fundamental requirement. Then only the energy will be able to go through the Sushmana Nadi. Then you will be able to get through the highest state, in which you will be so dispassionate. You will take everything as it comes. You will not be, because swayed by, because this side or that side, you will be unaside. That's what is being talked about. This is what final liberation is. The final liberation is not being swayed by, because small events and instances and how it should be going on. So this is brought about, because finally when you say, Sushmana Nadi, when you are able to get through the energy to that, you get the highest status. And finally, when you are trying to evolve into that, even when you leave the body, when the entire energy passes through the Sushmana Nadi to your crown head, you are attaining the highest state of liberation. That's what it is telling. Thaya urdhvam mayan amrtatvam yeti. Going up through that channel, one gets immortality in the sense, because there is the question of birth and death doesn't happen. Because birth and death, we are talking about so flippantly, because we are also talking about with so many examples, we will go through a little bit, onto that, what exactly does it mean. Vishwak Anya Ukramane Bhavanti. The others that have different time, when you are not able to take the energy through your Sushmana Nadi, the central channel, when it goes through the Ida or Pingala and horizontally, when it goes through, then you enter into the concept of, the birth and death, and you come back to this world again and experience and evolve yourself once again to get an opportunity to that. Why it is telling so in the sense. So the birth and death, the concept is there is, because the pralaya is what we call it, the birth and death is, finally the dissolution, the creation and the dissolution, what is being talked about. Nitya pralaya. And because every day, because we have a birth and death in the sense, because in our body itself, 6 million cells are dying and 6 million cells are recreated. That we are not aware. But, because the scientist has told us, and the Upanishad have already said, because you already got, your body is undergoing the birth and death, because that is how, your jara, janma mrityu, jara vyadi, when you are able to grow, because that's how you are able to grow. And if there is no birth and death and birth of the cells, a person will not be able to even physically grow. He will be a dwarf. He will be sort of stunted growth will be there. So naturally it is happening. Unless there is a birth and death, the body can't grow. The mind can't grow unless the old thoughts are destroyed. You unlearn, all your old sort of concepts. You will not be able to learn the new concept. Generally, when all of us are doing, because up to 12th, we all have a concept. When we go for a specialization, some of the concepts have to be forgotten, because they are specific to that particular. If you're going to zoology, because what you read up to 12th, the science will undergo a change, because zoological, because conditionality, zoological postulations are different. So is chemistry and so is physics. You may not learn the fundamental, but as you go about, then you will be unlearning a lot of things, which you might have, because accumulated during those period. Then only you will be able to gain the new knowledge. So continuously being taking the wrong concepts out, and avidya goes off, and the vidya, the wisdom comes. It is a continuous process. As you go into the research, till then what was valid yesterday, today it becomes invalid. It is happening in computer science. It is happening in AI. The concept, with which they are doing, because the agenting and all, then they say, it's no longer valid, because last month they published a late data, and this month I am seeing in the magazine, because this is undergoing a change, because this is found to be not valid, because now new concepts have come. The computer, the programs have been made in such a way that it is able to evolve itself. The program code itself changes based on, because of what the user uses. So once you find, because by doing constantly, the iteration is happening in the programming code itself. So therefore, once you are able to give up, all these sort of passionate ideas, the intelligence in the world and all, automatically you will iterate, your mind will get into the highest wisdom. So what has been demonstrated by the AI is already demonstrated in the Upanishad, that you will be able to know, even you will be able to automatically be improve yourself. No one need to give, you don't have to understand your own experience, pratyaksha. There cannot be any sort of replacement of pratyaksha. In fact, one acharya says, even if your experience is so good, if the scripture says something, don't give, because importance to scriptures. You go by your experience, but finally your experience will evolve so much. Finally, you will find some sort of a synonymity with what the scriptures have said. Till such time you experience, don't accept, because what the scripture, because that you will have to experience pratyaksha. So therefore, you will have to experience, and we have got, if the AI has got the ability to sort of improve itself, it's able to sort of produce a different version of itself to give a higher performance. Why can't our mind? Certainly, it is there already, but we have never realized. We thought, because it has never been taught. No one told me. This is what, because I have been living all this while, because my parents didn't tell me, the elders didn't tell me, because that is the accusation nowadays. No one told us. If they have told, because even will you be listening? Even if you listen, will you be able to accept? Unless you experience, you will not be able to accept. So this is exactly, and has been brought about. The experience is very important. Unless the child knows, because the flame is going to hurt, because it will still be, because going to the flame, because it doesn't know, it doesn't understand, it is attractive. This is exactly, because we have also been thinking, because, even though we know, even though we have been told, we understand, we have got so much of information available, but we don't have the wisdom available. We have got the repository of information. You will have a global centers, the global the centers that is going to come about, to feed the AI. They will be producing the information. Finally, the agenting, this codes, because processing that information. So agent earlier, because they were not able to develop. Now the algorithm has been formed. Every time when we find it, the better results, automatically the code gets changed. Likewise, because but we have got the ability to do it. That ability will come only when we give up, because all our ego, passion, and because the willing sort of propensity to indulge in this world, all these things, once it is given up, then only we will get it. It's not that people want to give you up, all the comforts available in the world, and because these comforts have been created. But it is then once you create a comfort zone, it is going against your ability to evolve. If you are a computer program, because all other AI agents will be able to sort of revolve, and they will be able to evolve much faster. But once you have a comfort zone, if the AI has the agenting also has taken a comfort zone, because earlier what happened, what used to happen, we used to give an assumptions for every hypothesis. We used to give assumptions, and the test those assumptions against the conditions, and then when the conditions are able to fulfill, and then that the hypothesis becomes validated in earlier. Now, these AI programs, they are continuously validating and they are evolving. That is, the biggest, sometimes, they may evolve in such a disproportionate way, because it may not be sort of a really be, I mean, it will perhaps be detrimental to the process. That is what they are worried. Because once you prepare the code, take the feed, and then the code itself changes, because then you've got a efficient computer programming to do much faster, by the results enable the code to change, because it gets the feedback, like the students give the feedback on the quality of the lecture to of the professor, and based on which the American universities, evaluate, the teaching faculty, because it's same thing happening and it is doing automatically. This algorithm has been built in. This is exactly, but this has already been provided to us. And Upanishad has said, for that the condition is your 101 pathways has to be clear. For that, you will have to be dispassionate. You should not be indulging. That is what exactly they said. And in that context, because then they said, you attain the immortality. What is that in immortality? I want, because I am living in this world. I don't know. Immortality is like day and night comes. Night comes, it is not asking any one of us. It comes because it is the nature. It is the Nitya. What is happening is Nitya Pralaya. Every day, because the dawn is there and the dusk is there, the night is there. And it happens, it is a sort of a given, because you cannot do anything about it. So once that is happening and all, so we have to understand it. Likewise, our body has also been, we are growing, and even when we are growing old, all the, because the things are, cells are being replaced, and our ability to some extent, the physical ability when it comes down, the mental ability goes up. So you are able to, a person is blind, because he may not be able to see this other faculties, because even when you are old, when you are having a physical ability comes in, but at least you are able to perceive what is that possible, how you can do it, what are all the ways in which you can do it. When you do that and when you continuously try to go, what is, then you use the ability of the body to that extent. You don't overexert. Exert only to the extent it can, and then try to see the other faculties, so they are able to give the benefit of it. You will not still be, trying to be as active, healthy, with body wise, because you were. But now you will have to see, your body's ability coming down, and you try to improve, because by thinking you've got so many other things, in the vast world, which you have missed out. The lot of interest you have got, you could have some sort of the interest in the arts, the literature, and all those things you will go about. So likewise, because this is something, once it happens, you will not, automatically be, oh, I'm not able to walk, I have a knee problem. And you will go for a physiotherapy, you will take some medicine, you will try to make, because as much as possible comfort and as much as ability to walk, because to carry the body, that's all. Then, the other things, you'll be concentrating on. So likewise, because you will have to be discriminative. The discriminative power, that will come only by constant evolution. Like the AI agents are improving, once we will also find, we will try to do what is possible at this moment, the art of possibility, and what is good for us, we will go for that. So Naimitika Pralaya, because this is sort of, the universal, this is the scriptural concept. The Brahma, because he is supposed to be having one Brahma year is supposed to be 432 billion years. 4.32 billion years is the one Brahma day. And, because when one Brahma day, in the sense, because the night also will be there, and there will be also one part of the day will be there, and there will also be night. So we have got, the lot of, you might have seen, because we have got Kalpa, Manvantara, Yuga, as everything comes about. This entire thing is made up of, because one entire Brahma's day is considered to be 4.32 billion years. So 4.32 billion years, because that is 1000 Maha Yugas of, because all the Yugas together, because like Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, all these things together, it is 4.32 lakh years. And this 4.32 million years. This 4.32 million years, 1000 times is 4.32 billion years. That is one Brahma day. Because these things have been given in the scriptures just to give how the the entire, the yugas and manvantaras are taken. We are in the Vaivasta Manvantara. It is there are 14 manvantaras, which describe, because entire that entire 4.32 billion years, and we are in the seventh manvantara. There are 14 manvantaras, seventh almost we are in the half. That's why you might have taken Kaliyuke, Pratame Pate, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakante, Shvetavaraha Kalpe, and then Vaivasta Manvantare, because because the Kalpa is again, because they are made of 17 set of Manvantaras. And because this out of this, now we are in the half of this Kalige Pratame Padi, and then Vaivasta Manvantari. The next is, because Sarvani Manvantari, because the another one is coming about. And that is next Manvantara. And each Manvantara has got the period, because these are all gargantuan proportion, because we will have a separate session we have discussed earlier, we will do that. So that is the Naimitika Pralaya, that is what. Prakriti Pralaya is then when the entire, because the Yuga, entire Kalpas, all of them are, all the 14 Kalpas are over, there will be dissolution. In the dissolution, everything will be darkened, because in the first half of the sort of, that before the Pralaya, they will all be, the creation and all will be. Second half of, because all the dissolution is everything will dormant. They will all be getting into the respective subatomic, atomic stage, and nothing and everything will be dormant, inactive. And after that, again, the creation takes place, and all of them will be brought about. And then, the creation will take place, the cycle will go off. There will be 4 yugas. That 4 yugas will again, because 1000 Maha yugas, will become one great, Brahma day. And that's how, it is going about, the Shastras are describing. This has just been given as sort of a note here, because if you are mentally, because able to evolve yourself, you get the sort of, as far as you are not concerned, because all these things, at least, because whatever be the status, you will be able to, having evolved, you don't have anything to worry about, you can go about. That's what, Upanishad says. And then, because once you are doing, because all your dharmic, because actions, you live in the world is righteously and all, because when you are doing everything, look, because I will only do what is in front of me. I will try to live, as righteously as possible. When you are doing what happens is, in the process, you will continuously be doing, continuously be evolving, and you will be living through the entire, these manvantaras, and because you will be having, birth and death and all, but finally, you will be living. Once you evolve, you will be going through the entire Brahma period, the Krama Mukti, what they call it. You will be there, with the bliss all these days, and finally, when the Pralaya is there, all of them will get into the respective subatomic, atomic stage, and then it is creating, because it giving some sort of a connotation. People who are well versed with the Shastras can discuss and sort of, they can, go on and analyzing, because how this takes place and all. But as far as we are concerned, once I am able to have all these qualities, I am able to have an open-minded approach, and when I am able to do that, and the 101 pathways get cleared, and finally, as and when this body has to go, because the Shushmana Nadi, the energy passes through so blissfully, and because it goes, then that is the final liberation. When finally the liberation, when it is there, you get into that, because finally you do not have anything, because of you are able to accept anything, everything, and you do not have any sort of unfulfilled desires, or to come back to this world. And once you have attained that stage, and I think, that is going to be the final dissolution of the, you are able to identify the similar qualities of the soul itself, the self which is governing you in your heart, because the next mantra is again going to tell about, because what is the quality of the self, and the antaratman, the paramatman who is inside you, who has created this entire world. That is the greatest concept in Hinduism, is the transcendental, because the power, which has created the entire universe, is also immanent in you. He's there inside you. He is guiding you. And therefore, because finally he is the one who gives the power. Once you understand that, once you, yes, this is the power who gives the sun, to give the light to the entire world. and the same power is in me. And once I have understood, that is the final liberation. That is what is called in the Shastra Shukla Gati. Shukla Gati in the sense, who is giving the power to the sun, you have understood him. The same power who is in you, and you are able to do the same thing. Because now what happens, because this is a concept to a very highest evolved mind to know what is Shukla Gati and what is not Shukla Gati. But once it is there, why do we, because how it helps in a person to understanding that. That is why, because in here we have got, the concept in our the Ishta Devata, because a lot of people Ishta Devata in the sense, because everyone, will be having, their own, Godhead, through which, they are praying, and through which, they are able to sort of hold a mooring on themselves, to be in this world. Like depending upon the Christians or Islam or yeah, Hindus also, in our case, Shakti Vipasana is there. And the people who are following Advaita, who are following Vishnu, Shiva, and all those things we are doing, we are having a personal God. That's also equally permissible, because it is in the sense, you have a mooring, and by doing that, what you are doing, you are trying to evolve yourself. You are trying to remove your comfort zone. You are trying to be open-minded. You are trying to be as exposed possible, so that you are able to attract the cosmic energy into you, so that the final energy, when it comes into you, your body, finally your entire soul is able to focus the energy through the central channel, the Sushmana Nadi, through which, finally you are able to get the highest bliss. Because that is, when you don't find, you don't have any lack, you are fulfilled, you are contented, you have got everything available in this world. You have done everything as perfect as possible within your capacity and control. And you have mindfully acted on everything, you have not unnecessarily dissipated into so many things that has come about in this world. So that is the takeaway from the Upanishad. Once you are able to do that, but only thing is, the prior requirement is we should not have any sort of a restrictions, like passions, indulgence, and because like, dislike, all those things should not be. We should be dispassionate, and like a river, and agreeing to any terrain, through which it has to flow. It is some sort of a flow, once you are able to flow, because through any terrain or any condition, any which, you accept that. You don't try to ask why and how. In fact, we'll be seeing next week, as because why the power of the human beings, to understand this has slowly come down from yuga after yuga. In Satya Yuga, it was they were fully sort of able to live, because they were able to live, because more than 10,000 years and all those things. In Ramayana also it is thing. Satavarsha Sakastrani, because even Rama is supposed to have lived for so many days. But as in, because then Treta Yuga came, because Shakti Yuga, it is there, Treta Yuga itself, it was there, it has come down. In Dwapara Yuga, it has come down further. That is why in Dwapara Yuga, till then, because Veda was only one, everyone were able to understand. Since the human capacity has come down, Vyasa has to divide the Veda into four. Vyasa is division. He divided. That's why he's called Vyasa. And all the one Veda is divided into four. At least let them try to master one of it, because to the path. That's how he has made it. The power has come down. We will also see, because how our scriptures have said in the forthcoming, when my manvantras, how things, will be happening and all. So now we are having, because almost, nowadays, the living up to, 80, 90 or 100, is possible. But then in those things, will be a dream, because in the other manvatra that is likely to come, and we will see all those things. These are all just to give an indication. Mentally, you be open-minded, and that doesn't bother, which manvantara, which kalpa, which yuga, and all. So you will be attained the highest, that's what Upanishad says. Finally, you will be able to focus your entire energy through the pathway, the highest pathway which has been endowed into you, your birthright. You can go through and finally get the best out of that, for which you are entitled, for which, because you have been given that power to get through that. That is the final liberation we are supposed to be getting. And this also has got different connotations. We will see in the next week. Sahana vavatu, Sahanau punaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहैः। ॐ